features have been taking over media lately, what with Chat GPT and the like. And I did mention this on my audio pod. You can check that out. The link is in the description below. And I had a few side conversations that sparked the idea for this episode. Artificial intelligence isn't new and it's getting better each day. When we think about all of the things that AI can do to help improve our lives, ideas become limitless. We now have stores where you can shop and never have to wait in line. Fast food chains without a single human employee, hotels that offer self check in and check out services, and not to mention with the combination of self driving cars and trucks and same day delivery services, pretty soon we'll be able to order just about anything we need, have it delivered same day, all without any human interaction with your purchase from manufacturing to your hands, which will inevitably cut down on lost or stolen packages, which is a good thing, right? But wait, let's talk about manufacturing. A long time ago, I worked at a company that's now closed. It was called Calsonic Yancey, and we made car parts for a bunch of different companies. I remember back when I was there, most of the work was done by manual hands. And yes, there were machines that finished off the products, but the bulk of the work was done by us line workers. I'm not sure of how many employees worked there total, but I was a floater between 7 lines. And 5 of those lines were welder heavy, meaning that we welded these things by hand. Each line had anywhere between 2 to 15 people. And since I knew a little bit about a lot, they just kind of sort of placed me wherever I was needed. Now there is a company that welds car parts completely by robots, and those robots have robot creators. Fully automated production lines making disposable vapes. So, in theory, you could order a vape online, have it made by a robot who packages it, and have it delivered to you by a self driving delivery truck or drone. Sounds pretty cool, huh? What happens to the assembly workers that manufactures these products? How about the Walmart cashier or the shift lead at Carl's Jr. or the front desk clerk at the local hotel or the receptionist at your dentist's office or your doctor's office? What happens to those people working these jobs? We can examine the use of cobots, which are robots or AI that work with humans. The use of cobots cuts human employee downtime by 85%, and the robots break down less because of constant human oversight. So let's take a look at the people that work these jobs. It should stand to reason that the same people who will be replaced will be the same ones working alongside with these cobots or be the one hired to oversee these robots. Now, you may be wondering if there were ever a time in history in which something similar has happened and what we could possibly learn from that event. Well, dear listener, I am so glad that you asked. In 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in his hospital bed after being shot at the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. Over the next 4 days, over 60 cities across the U.S. experienced violent rioting. There was peaceful marching when he was alive, and yes, it did get some things done, but the big one, the one that really mattered, the Civil Rights Act of 1968, an act that was supposed to have been quickly signed as a follow-up act of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, wasn't finally passed until 7 days after King's assassination, which seems suspiciously like they only passed it to stop the rioting. Kind of like how the 1964 Civil Rights Act didn't get passed until Kennedy was killed. Affirmative action, as it is currently defined in the United States, is the active effort to improve employment, educational, and other opportunities for members of groups that have been subjected to discrimination. Criteria for affirmative action include race, disability, gender identity, sexual orientation, ethnic origin, and age. Now, affirmative action has been around for a while, but it was only introduced federally in the 1968 Civil Rights Act. Just 6 years later, Congress passed the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, extending jurisdiction and giving greater emphasis to systemic discrimination, meaning this highly invaluable chess piece that did need improvement, but the foundation was there, was devolved to placing the very people it was supposed to benefit on the back burner as second class citizens. So, in the end, it failed. It failed to benefit the people it was supposed to benefit. It failed to be clear and firm on limitations, and it failed as a system completely. There are 9 states and counting that have policies in place that do not allow affirmative action in at least university admissions. The whole thing was a blunder. Affirmative action, along with a shit ton of other stuff in the 1964 and the 1968 Civil Rights Act, did not help our cause in the end. And that was people trying to work with other people. If you take a fleet of self-driving trucks for a major distribution company, that company will be hiring fewer humans to oversee those trucks. And those humans aren't the average person who can get a job as a delivery driver now. No, those jobs will be given to robotics engineers. Attending a trade school is always the safest bet when looking to secure a well-paying, flexible job that is always in need of more people. But not everyone is best suited for those types of jobs. So, what will happen to those people in the fields that are most overrepresentative of Black people here in America? As AI becomes more mainstream, it looks as though the job market, at least in those fields, are becoming less and less Black. Don't worry, the robots aren't here to take your jobs.
They took our job. They took our job. They took your job.
And the future doesn't have to be as dystopian as we make it out to be. There are things that we can do, like learning how to use AI and how to work with it. It isn't going away, and we're becoming more and more reliant on it every day, from our phones to our computers to our cars, our banking, our medical, our schooling. We use AI more often than we think. So, learning to integrate it into our flow will only serve to be useful to us in the long run. But we do need to think about the safeguards to ensure employment opportunities for Black Americans. But, Marissa, didn't we just talk about how a safeguard like that doesn't work? Why, yes, dear listener. Yes, we did. So, what's the answer? The answer is always going to be the same, which is reparations. The next few videos will be on reparations, where I'll go step by step on what needs to be laid out and how we can achieve this. But to wrap up this video, reparations for Black Americans doesn't have to be solely monetary gains. Yes, that would be a major part of it, but what we need is lasting security. I'm reminded of the episode of The Office. I think it's called Broke. I think. And it's when Michael Scott ended up quitting Dunder Mifflin and he started his own company, the Michael Scott Paper Company. And he ended up recruiting Pam and Ryan, who was working at the bowling alley. None of this matters. So Pam, Ryan, working at Michael Scott Paper Company. Long story short, Dunder Mifflin ends up having to buy out the Michael Scott Paper Company. During the negotiations, we don't technically know what the first offer was, but the second offer, fans will know. Second offer was $12,000, and then the third offer was $60,000. Now, this is $60,000 to be split between Pam, Ryan, and Michael. They were all excited when they initially heard that it was going to be a $60,000 buyout. But then Michael said no. He said, no, we need security. And then he started making demands. He demanded a Sebring, which they didn't make Sebrings anymore, so he didn't get that. He did demand his parking spot back, which he did get. He demanded his old job back. which is the most important. And then he demanded Pam and Ryan to come back on as salesmen. So that includes what? Health insurance. He did mention in the episode, he said, I want dental this time too. So health, dental, pensions, benefits, 401ks, like this ended up being a you pause, timeout. He even said, I want Charles Minor gone. If you guys don't remember, Idris Elba played Charles Minor. And he was the whole reason why Michael Scott quit in the first place. So he says, I want Charles Minor gone. Now, David Wallace didn't fire Charles Minor. He said, I'm not going to do that. He's invaluable to the company, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. He didn't fire him, but did we ever see him again? Yes, actually, we did. We saw him again during the company picnic, but we never saw him again in Scranton. Okay. Michael set demands and he said, our balls are in your court. Okay. I would insert that whole clip in here, but the last time I tried to insert a clip from The Office, it got a copyright claim here on YouTube. So I don't want to do that. But if you know, you know. Okay. If not, go and check out The Office. It's on Peacock. Anyways, basically, what I'm trying to say is this: when we make demands, we have to be able to set clear and concise limitations. Okay. When we talk about affirmative action, that was supposed to have benefited people that were previously discriminated against. Instead, it turned into something that was completely opposite of what we were supposed to be doing in the first place. Every other group got elevated and we got placed on the back burner. You want to talk about LGBTQ IA and rights there and trying to equate that with Black civil rights? It doesn't equate. I'm sorry to tell you, but it doesn't. If you're Black and you're LGBTQIA, then guess what? You're Black before you're any of those things. So we're already incorporating LGBTQ. When we start to specify that, that allows for other people to come in, and then we have to gatekeep, and that's no fun, right? So I'll leave you with all of that. I'm actually on my way to go work out. We're coming along. We're coming along nicely. So anyhow, thank you so much if you stayed to the end. I know that I get kind of crass and a little bit whenever it comes to like the like and subscribe. You're all adults here. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you every fucking video to like and subscribe. You should know how YouTube works by now. If you need an explanation as to how YouTube works at this point, you're not my target audience. And so I wish you a farewell, and I hope that you do find some entertaining content because, so anyhow, thank you for staying to the end. If you did manage to get here, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to be more interactive. I'm a bit of a hermit crab. I don't really like interacting with people, but I'm trying to come out of my shell. So if you do have any ideas about how we can do more things to strengthen our community, then place them in the comments below. Let me know. And we may even do a thing and like do a thing here or something. I don't know. This whole channel is just a hodgepodge of just content. So like, I don't fucking know. Okay, I'm done talking because I have to go. Bye. Look, humble brag, I have 31 subscribers, so fuck the haters, okay? Me and my 31 subscribers, we kiki, and we know that I know a lot about The Office. Now, Come on, come on, come on. The same ones working alongside with these cobots or be the ones hired to. Oh, God. Because people don't usually fucking call me at midnight, asshole. Oh, this shit's gonna have to be taken out. Holy fuck.